Independence Information Commissioner claims that in 2017, consumers will be cashless shoppers. A microchip holding personal bank account and credit card information will be implanted into the body, connecting to a database that will know who they are, where they live, what they like, and what they don't like. Shoppers will have their hand scanned, not their credit card.
Okay, we're going to put the chat. The chat is off, okay? All right. We apologize for the inconveniences. We know how these spirits attack during the time in which information is coming forth. But let's start off with the Hebrew Credo to the Most High. Have His Spirit protect us through this here.
Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad.
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 Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one God. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Again, this is Elder Ricard Shaw with Elder Lawyer here on your Sabbath to go into a lesson called The Rise of the Mark of the Beast. Okay. Now, this message is to Israelites, to the Jews first, and also to the Gentiles. Okay. We're going into the Bible today. We're going to break down the mark of the beast and really the plan from the beginning. And when we say from the beginning, during the time of the fallen ones, they always had an imposition against the true God and God's people. They always had a plan. I'm speaking of the gods. There was a perpetual plan or continual plan for them to overtake the Most High's creation, to have all creation worship the beast or Satan instead of the God of gods. We are the children of the all-living, most powerful God, Ahaya. Satan has been trying to take God's credit since his hurling, since he fell. So when we look at the beast system in place today, understand that it's not really a new agenda. Myself and Elder Lawyer and the elders have been going over this in the academy and our lessons continuously. And we want to really get this information out to our brothers and sisters concerning the fight, the struggle we're really in against good and evil. Well, against evil, excuse me. In Ephesians, it says, we wrestle not with flesh and blood. This power that's over the earth today, that's causing confusion, that's destroying families, destroying children, that's getting us sick. The whole system has been in place for a long time, thousands of years. The only difference today is, compared to back then, is back then we were aware of our enemies and those who were operating against us, spiritually and physically. It's only through slavery and captivity and being separated so long from our homeland that this sort of spiritual amnesia is able to perpetuate from one generation to the next generation. But back then, during the old time, during Christ's time, the apostles' time, and even before that, we understood this battle, this beast, this demon, this evil that's perpetuated controlling governments, that's perpetuated by Satan controlling governments against us. So, now that we're in a time in which we see the enemy destroying us from all sides, right? We can see it, but because we don't have an understanding of its inception, brothers and sisters, we don't know how to fight it, how to battle against it, what to do, right? The only way to understand how to really deal with what's going on with this system today against our people is to go back to the past. Go back in the Bible and see where it all started. Okay? Let's go back real quick. Let's go into Egypt, right? Way back in Egypt, during the time Moses is commissioned by the Most High, Ahiah, after the Most High revealed his name. He's commissioned to go back into Egypt and tell Pharaoh to let his people go. To let my people go. Let's go back there first, because this is when our God began to show himself to us as a people. He began to tell us, well, listen, I was always with you. I was with your fathers. I was with Adam in the beginning, but this is my name. You are to be separated from these nations, the gods of the Egyptians, so that you can serve me. Okay. Now, during this time that the Most High is moving us into this land that we call Israel, there's some evil going on in that land. It's called the land of Canaan at this time. But this particular land the Most High is moving us into will be the pinnacle from whence rulership and law come forth. So the Most High was separating us from the Gentiles, moving us into the land of Canaan, right? So that we could actually execute the law and power from this chosen area. Okay, now through this, our practices would be different. Our quote unquote, if they would like to call it, our religion would be different. We would have a different view of morality, a higher view of morality and respect. See, so I'm going to go back to Egypt so that my people, our people, can actually get it today of what's really going on. Okay? You can actually get it by going back and understanding from whence we fell, so that now when this beast system is on us, you can make the right choice. All of you. Come back to the Most High under his hedge to fight against evil righteously. And we're going to talk about that at the end of this. How do we battle? How do we fight against this beast system? The name of this lesson, the rise of the mark of the beast. Right? Let's go back to Egypt. Come on, Elder Lawyer.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 5, verse 1. And afterward, Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord power of Israel, let my people go.
He told the God of Israel, let my people go. Now, who was Pharaoh during this time? Well, brothers and sisters, Pharaoh would be the equivalent to our modern day political leaders. The government construct that's over our people, who's pushing the legislation and the oppression against our people. So this rule of Satan emanates or begins through what? Government power. Okay? So that's why in this world today, brothers and sisters, you see there's a constant attack against the Bible. Why? Because governments of this earth know the Bible identify the gods, the God who empower each government. So they shun the Bible. But really, when we look at this, brothers and sisters, this is our God sending in one of the sons of of Abraham, one of the sons of Shem, back into Egypt to separate us from them. See? Let my people go so that I can do what?
Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, let my people go.
Let my people go.
That they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness.
So they would hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. So what is this saying? Instead of us following the feast in the ways of the Egyptian government, the Most High would sever us away from them, this government, this all-powerful government under Satan, so that we can have separate feasts, separate holy days, separate traditions. See? Now, some might ask, well, what's wrong with that? You have freedom of religion today, right? Some people may say, well, listen, you can do what you want to do today. Mm-hmm. Well, no, you can't. Okay. If you were to make this same decision today in your homes and say, you know what? I'm not going to deal with Christmas no more. I'm not going to deal with Easter no more. I'm not going to deal with none of the pagan holy days, and I'm going to follow the law, statutes, and commandments and holy days in the Bible. You'll be ostracized by this world. So they claim you have a freedom of religion, but no sooner as you practice what's right according to the Bible, you're being singled out and attacked. So is there really a freedom? No, there's freedom to follow the pagan religions that's given to us. The same way if we were in Egypt, there would be a freedom to do what the Egyptians say do. That's what they call free. Okay? But let's go back to the point. The Most High is separating his people from the pagan Pharaoh, the pagan Egypt. Right? Now, really I was going to hold this, but I'm going to go into it about now. Give me that book real quick. Right? Let me get this here. In this book right here, called Egypt, Canaan, and Israel in Ancient Times. Okay? This book is by Donald B. Redford. Okay? Now you might ask, why do I have this book, right? Well, in this book, matter of fact, this book was published by Jewish people, with all Jewish references. But in this book anyway, brothers and sisters, it breaks down the gods of Egypt and the gods of Canaan. Okay? Now, the gods that the Most High was separating us from were satanic, were Satan worships, satanic worships. The gods that fell with Satan were being worshipped in Egypt, which were called the Anunnaki. They also had a connection afterwards to the gods that would be destroyed in the land of Canaan. Why is this book important? It identified the gods the Most High was separating Israel from, God's people from. And you would never guess what God predated us going into the land of Canaan, Israel. What God predated us actually going into Egypt. Who was the Canaanite God? When Canaan went to North Africa, went to the land of Canaan, and the Hamites went to Mizraim, Egypt, what gods were they worshiping? What were their names? And I'm putting this out there because now at the very end, the Most High is identifying this so that we can separate all the way from the beast. Okay? Last week I went into the academy and I was showing Edom and the gods he separated himself to against the God of his fathers. How he went into Mount Seir. I went into this a few weeks ago. Okay? And connected himself to an ancient God. Okay. These are the gods the Most High was separating us from. The gods of North Africa. The Hamitic gods. The god of Canaan. Okay. The gods of the Egyptians. Right? I want you to read this real quick, Elder Lawyer. Starting with Shashu. Now, the reason I'm going into this, and I hope a lot of brothers out there from the conscious community falls on this particular information. Why? Because they always challenge us with this, challenge Israelites with, well, where's your archaeological proof of what you're saying is correct? Well, Egyptologists and those that are pro-Africa know about Shashu, about the time the Shashu people and the whole understanding concerning it in archaeology. It's a proven fact that the Shashu existed. Okay. Now, on the radio this Wednesday, I'm going to go more in detail with this, but I wanted to touch on this based on our people coming out of Egypt and what gods the Most High was separating us from first. All right. Let's read it.
This is page 272. It says here, Shashu are found in Egyptian texts from the 18th dynasty through the 3rd intermediate period.
Okay, which is part of modern day history. They know about this. When I say modern day history, modern day historians study and know that it's proof about the Shashu, about this dynasty that operated in ancient Egypt. Read.
Shashu are found in Egyptian texts from the 18th dynasty through the 3rd intermediate period.
Come on.
They most frequently occur in generalizing toponym lists, where the context helps little in pinpointing their location. But lists from Soleb and Amara, ultimately of 15th century origin, suggest that an original concentration of Shashu settlements lay in southern Transjordan and the plains of Moab and northern Edom.
Come on. Now, these are nations who were always enemies against the true children of God, right? Moab, Edom, Ammon, right? Read.
Here, a group of 6 names is identified as in the land of the Shashu.
6 names are identified in the land of Shashu, which predates us coming out of Egypt. Read.
And these include Seir.
Seir. Now we know Seir is another name for Satan. So when you see Mount Seir, which bordered Israel, well, that mount is Mount Satan. Okay. Seir,
i.e. Edom.
Edom.
Laban, probably Labona, south of Ammon.
Come on.
Samoth, of the Shemethites, of the clan of the Kenites.
Come on. The Kenites, which are children of Nephilim. Go on.
And Warbor, probably the Wadi Hassa. Elsewhere in the text of the 19th and 20th dynasties, the consistent link of the Shashu with Edom and with the Arabah and the Arabah, Timnah, places the identification of the early list beyond doubt.
Come on.
The localization of the land of the Shashu in the mountainous district of Seir, east of the Arabah, has an interesting consequence for one in the name in the mentioned list of the Soleb and Amara.
Come on.
Yahweh.
Say that again.
Yahweh.
Yahweh, which is the tetragrammaton.
In the land of the Shashu.
In the land of the Shashu.
For a half a century, it has been generally admitted that we here have the tetragrammaton. The
tetragrammaton.
The name of the Israelite God.
The name of what they call now the Israelite God, but we actually picked that name up later once we fell to Babylon. Read.
Yahweh, and if this be the case, as it is undoubtedly is, the passage constitutes a most precious indication of the whereabouts during the late 15th century BC of an enclave revering this God.
Reverencing this God. Read.
And while it would be wrong to jump to the conclusion that Israel as known from the period of the judges or the early monarchy, was already in existence in Edom at this time, one cannot help but recall the numerous passages in biblical tradition that depict Yahweh coming forth from Seir.
Yahweh coming forth from where?
From Seir.
From Seir.
And originating in Edom.
And originating where?
In Edom.
In Edom. See? Why? Because Edom, it didn't originate in Edom. Edom, once he lost his birthright and his blessing, he denounced the God of his father Abraham and went into Mount Seir and made an agreement with Satan, the beast. That's when he began to reverence and honor Satan, the God of the Mount Seir. So that's where they got that name from, the Sashu. That was in ancient Egypt and in Canaan. It was the God of the Canaanites, Satan himself. It's in their records. Okay? Now, when our people fell, our people began to worship the God that gained power from the beast. They began to worship the God that gave that particular government power. So when we fell, we were forced to, and eventually started exalting that God as our God. Okay? So when we go into these records and prove this, brothers and sisters, it's so that you, brothers and sisters, can now separate yourself, not only from the Gentile gods, okay, that we all know about, the Jesuses, the word God, which is really from right to left, dog backwards, because the Egyptians worshiped a jackal. Yahweh, Yah, and all these different gods. These were the gods the Most High was separating his people from, brothers and sisters. We were being separated from them in ancient times. And now that he's calling us to come back to him at our present time, it's the same thing again. At our present time, the Most High is calling us to separate us from these ancient gods. Okay? Why? There's a reckoning coming. Satan is now grasping all that belong to him, and the Most High is protecting all that belongs to him before the deluge, before the destruction. So we have to get Satan out of our hearts, out of our lives, out of our traditions, in every area, and keep the Most High on our tongue, on our lips. Now let's go back to Revelations. Let's go back to Genesis here, Exodus. Now there's something I want to show out of here later, brothers and sisters. There's a little bit more, but I wanted to show you this, that this particular God, Yahweh, was being worshiped. And Moses came to Pharaoh, went to Pharaoh and said, well, listen, I must separate you from them. You must be separated. Go tell them to release my people so that they can sacrifice to me. These gods were in ancient Africa. Okay? Hamitic gods that we were being separated from. Our foreparents, right? Now let's go. Come on.
The book of Exodus chapter 5, verse 2. And Pharaoh said, who is the Lord that I should obey his voice?
So Pharaoh said, who is your God that I should obey his voice? I don't know your God. Okay? Who is your God? But the Most High revealed his name to who? Moses. Let's go there real quick. A few verses over.
Book of Exodus chapter 3, verse 13.
Come on.
And Moses said unto the Most High, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel,
come on,
and shall say unto them, the God of your fathers have sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, what is his name?
What is his name? Now, what is his name? Now, why would the people ask, well, what is his name? Why would our people ask that, brothers and sisters? Because his name wasn't in existence. We knew of the God who was separated from the other gods as God Almighty, the most powerful God, the highest God, the God of Abraham. But at this time, there was no name given to him. Right? Read.
What shall I say unto them?
What shall I say unto the children of Israel that are waiting for deliverance? Because when we go into Egypt, there's a name on every god there. These polytheistic worshipers, we know who their gods are. Right? What can I say to my people? Read.
Verse 14.
Come on.
And God said unto Moses, I am that I am.
I am that I am.
And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am have sent me unto you.
I am have sent me unto you. Tell them I am sent you. That's my name. Read.
Verse 15. And the Most High said, Moreover unto Moses,
Come on.
Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel,
This is what you say to my people.
The Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob have sent me unto you.
Come on.
This is my name forever.
This is my name forever.
And this is my memorial unto all generations.
And this is my memorial unto what?
Unto all generations.
Unto every generation afterwards. They are to uphold a higher. His name forever in what? Our hearts, in our minds, from our lips, forever. Now, of course, that would be the Most High within us, right? In our mind, in our temple. So Satan would look to what? Replace that. Where we would speak his name, reverence him. He would be in our hearts and our minds, right? So eventually he would set up a whole world of worship and reverence to him that would lead to him actually operating not only on the outside of us through influence, but also in us, like the Most High operates in us. So as you can see, we're coming into those times now where Satan is looking to be within our temples. The majority of the earth have been worshiping him already. So now he's going to get in all the way. That's this rise of the beast, this system, so that he can be all in all within all of creation like the Most High is. That's where technology is going. See? So when people ask, well, it doesn't matter as long as we do the right things. What difference does it make what the Most High name is and who he is? It's greater. There's greater levels in understanding when it comes to the Most High's name. Because Satan understands the power of what they call invocation and the power of acknowledging the God who gives you your power, your understanding. That's who you reverence and worship. So the first thing, the first thing the Most High said was, listen, go and tell Pharaoh to let my people go so that he can sacrifice to me. So the people of Israel was like, well, okay, who am I going to sacrifice to? Okay, Ahiah. You go and tell him Ahiah have sent you to free my people, and they will reverence me. And I will protect and have a hedge over those particular people. I will give them a law that would separate them from the Gentiles, the nations. Right? So now, we're going to go through a few books today. We're going into the book of Jubilees. Matter of fact, let's go there now. Elder Lawyer, Jubilees 24. Jubilees. Let's get Joshua 24 first. We're going to go to Joshua 24. And we're going to go into the book of Jubilees today also to show you how this beast was always operating. He was always operating. Speaking of Satan, he was always looking to get amongst our people and use us for his cause. Okay? Because we were already separated. After we left Egypt, we had our laws, statutes, and commandments. The nations would just follow him. and revere and respect him for the power he gave the Gentiles. So they would just follow Satan. You understand? But we were the people that Satan always had an issue in trying to get us to bring forth his program, to bring forth his agenda. We were the only people that were separated from his agenda after the Most High saved us and gave us the land of Canaan and gave us Israel, right? So let's go. Let's go to the book of Joshua, 24 and 13.
The book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 13. And I have given you a land for which ye did not labor.
The Most High said afterwards, he gave us a land in which we did not labor or work for. Go on.
In cities which ye built not, and ye dwell in them. Of the vineyards and olive yards which ye planted not, do ye eat.
Do you eat? So the Most High gave us a land flowing with milk and honey. The only thing we would need to do as a people was to do what? Follow his laws, statutes, and commandments, and not follow the way of the Gentiles. Okay? Who are really, believe it or not, speaking of natural Gentiles, they are Satanists by tradition. A lot of them don't even know they're worshiping Satan. Just by tradition, they are just Satanists from one generation to the next. Paganism and evil traditions, right? So the Most High said, listen, I'm going to separate you from them. You're going to have a land flowing with milk and honey. Just stay away from the Gentile ways and their God, right? Read the 14th verse.
Verse 14. Now therefore, fear the Lord.
Fear the Most High, which is Ahiah. I'm going to say it again, brothers and sisters. Ahiah is his name. Read.
And serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood.
Read it again.
Now therefore fear the Lord, and serve him in sincerity and in truth.
Sincerity and in truth.
And put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood.
Put away the gods your fathers served on the other side of the flood. See? Put away the gods our forefathers served on the other side of the flood. A lot of our people fell to those gods before the flood. Okay? So believe it or not, those same gods, worships, and traditions from before the flood is what's going on now. Right? Read.
And in Egypt.
And in what?
And in Egypt.
And in Egypt. So we didn't just serve those other gods on the other side of the flood. When we went into Egypt, brothers and sisters, some of our people, a lot of us, fell to the Egyptian religions. See? The beast religions in Egypt. All right? Do you see this? Come on.
And serve ye the Lord.
And serve Ahiah. Now there's rules in how to serve the Most High within the Torah, the law, statutes, and commandments within the Bible. The Torah, the Tanakh, the New Testament, the epistles. Read.
Verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve.
So if it seem wrong or evil to serve the Most High Ahiah, then choose this day whom you will serve. Don't be in between. Okay? If you feel it's wrong or so hard to do what's right according to the Bible, then just outright choose Satan. Okay? Just go that way. Even Christ said, brothers and sisters, you can't be lukewarm. Be either hot or cold or spewed out. You have to choose. Now, to choose what's right is hard in this world. Mm-hmm. To choose what's right, you're going to get ostracized. Okay? You're going to get demonized, attacked. But you have to choose. You have to make a choice. It's lonely dealing with the truth. You have to also get used to being lonely and not being one that goes with the course of this world. Right? But go on, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Choose you this day, the rest of 15. Choose you this day whom ye will serve.
Come on.
Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood.
Whether it be the other gods or the religions of the world. Read.
Or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
But Joshua says, but in this house, we're going to serve a higher. Okay? Now, we all know that Joshua at one point was right there with Moses. So he knew the Most High. He knew the Most High's name, and he knew the God that was supposed to be served in the land, the new land of Israel. Right? So even before the flood, Satan had a program in place in which it would be a beast system, and that he would actually sit in the minds and hearts of all the Most High's creation, and eventually have all the world that was meant to serve the true God serve him. Okay? Serve him. Now let me show you something real quick here. Let's go real quick, Elder Lawyer, to the book of Jubilees, the 8th chapter. And I need you to also get Isaiah. When Satan was hurled, real quick.
Yes, sir.
In the 14th chapter.
Jubilees chapter 8.
Jubilees 8, 1 through 4.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Jubilees chapter 8, verses 1 through 4.
Yes, sir. You got it?
Water. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It says, in the 29th Jubilee in the first week, in the beginning thereof, Arpachshad took to himself a wife, and her name was Rasuja.
Go on.
The daughter of Susan, the daughter of Elam. And she bare him a son in the 3rd year in this week. And he called his name Canaan. And the son grew, and his father taught him writing, and he went to seek for himself a place where he might seize for himself a city.
Come on.
And he found a writing which former generations had carved on the rock. And he read what was thereon, and he transcribed it and sinned owing to it. For it contained the teachings of the watchers.
It contained what?
The teaching of the watchers.
The teachings of the watchers.
In accordance with that which they used to observe the omens of the sun.
The omens of the sun.
And moon.
And moon.
And stars and all the signs of heaven. And he wrote it down and said nothing regarding it. For he was afraid to speak to Noah about it, lest he should be angry with him on account of it.
So what is this showing, brothers and sisters? Right after the flood, some people might ask, well, how did the religion of the gods, the beast religion that control the world and Gentiles today, how did it make it or was promoted on this side of the flood? Well, it teaches us in the book of Jubilees that one of the sons of Canaan found the God's tablets. Most people call it today, and guess what? This is also archaeology, an archaeological fact. The Gilgamesh stone. The inscription of the gods and how to deal with their religions and all that was inscribed on this particular stone. And also, there were rituals that in which they could summon the gods and actually operate and get information and technology from those particular gods in Nephilim that made it to this side of the flood. Okay? It's called the Gilgamesh tablets. Okay? That's what they inscribed. When they understood that the Most High, our God, was going to destroy the old world, they began to inscribe in stone so that man can find it on this side of the flood. Okay? And through this tablet, through this understanding, all religions began to operate again, as was before the flood. All nations began to set up the same religions and the same teachings against our God. Now, what verse are you at, Elder Lawyer?
That constitutes the...
Yeah, read the 4th verse again.
Verse 4. It says here, I'll start up here. It says...
Yes.
And he found a writing, this is the middle of verse 3.
And he found a writing,
which former generations had carved on the rock, and he read what was thereon. And he transcribed it, and sinned owing to it. For it contained the teaching of the watchers, in accordance with which they used to observe the omen of the sun and moon and the stars and all the signs of heaven.
which is involuntary worshiping of angels. Go on.
And he wrote it down and said nothing regarding it, for he was afraid to speak to Noah about it, lest he should be angry with him on account of it.
So the sons of Ham, Canaan sons, began to worship the gods. That's where the religions began to operate on this side of the flood. Okay? The Hamites began to worship fallen gods found through this tablet. Okay? Now, I need you to go to Genesis 11:1. So the knowledge of fallen angels and all that was being taught after this. How to build cities and have the earth worship Satan and deal with all these satanic, everything you see today, brothers and sisters, was the plan back then. Okay? Before you get 11, get Isaiah real quick. This was the plan of Satan all along when he was hurled. His plan was to be God. Okay? So when we lost our power, brothers and sisters, what did Satan do? Satan began to do what? Build cities and constructs of control that would one day absorb us into this belief. The one world order has to include God's people who were separated after we came out of Egypt. See? They can't accomplish the one world order without getting us. Okay, to get all of our people who are scattered to participate in this agenda. That's what the New World Order is. Satan now being our God over all nations, including God's chosen people. See? Go on.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 12.
Come on.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart.
For thou hast said in thine heart. This is Satan.
I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
I will what?
I will be like the Most High.
I will be like the Most High. Satan's promise to go into the heavens, set his nest among the stars. He's going to use Edom to do that, and he has used Edom to do that, and rule from the heavens and be like the Most High. What is the Most High? The Most High is all in all. So in order for Satan to accomplish this, being a fallen one, he must use the technology within our realm to accomplish this oath or promise he made to go back to heaven. He must use these things within the earth to do what? Have technology that would have him sit within us. Our temple, our minds, our heart. We would speak of him. We would worship him and forget the God who made us. That was the agenda, that he would take over everything and totally disconnect us from the God who made us. Okay, the rise of the beast. Now we're seeing that agenda in full play, right out in the open. Right? Read it again, that last piece.
It says here, verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
That's NASA. That's them going out in space with their spaceships, Apollo, and all these different gods they name, with these rockets going out in space. Okay? They're not trying to find if there's water out there. They're not looking for Mars. It's all a lie. This is the true agenda here. Read.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Go on.
I will be like the Most High.
He will be like the Most High. Read.
Verse
Now,
15.
how can he be like the Most High and not control the Most High's people? See? Here's the rise of the beast. They would set up a system in which all people would what? Worship and honor and love the beast. Right? Go on, elder lawyer.
Yes, sir. Verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
And we know that when the Messiah come, he will be brought down to hell permanently and bound for 1,000 years. Okay? Now let's go back to Genesis now.
Book of Genesis?
Yeah.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 1.
Come on.
And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar. And they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven.
Come on.
And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do.
Go on.
Go to, let us go down there and confound their languages, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city.
And they left off to build the city. So what's going on here? Now that on this side of the flood, the Hamites have the technology and understanding that's left from the stone, now they eventually got the blueprint from the gods on how to build a Babylonian construct that would allow Satan to get out into heaven, right? But it wasn't just that. It was also a religious construct to worship and honor that God of technology and ingenuity that gave them the understanding on how to build, how to operate and do things beyond men's intellect. He gave man, Gentiles, intelligence. Through this intelligence, he was to be worshiped. But our God seen what was going on and said, you know what? We need to split the tongues. We need to separate them. Because if they do this, they will accomplish everything they set out to do. Knowing that Satan had what? Heavenly information. He had heavenly information based on the judgment. So he was trying to thwart or hold off his judgment by making this things, making it where he can get there before his time and fight against the God that made him. That's the whole plan. Now you notice that these Gentiles all came together in one place to work for him. Some people might ask, well, who would work for Satan? Well, look what's going on today. They reverence the God that gives them intelligence, technology, understanding. And don't forget, he set up cities for parties and, he made it fun. See, before Babylon, there wasn't nothing like this, where you can all go and have fun and do what you want to do. And it was just vibrant, right? A place of control, a place of worship with technology, intelligence, right? Let's go to the book of Jasher now. You can read it right off of here, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
So what happens? Our God see what's going on and say, you know what? Let's send the angels down and split the tongues. Let's separate these people, right? Before this, there was only one tongue in the earth from Eber, and that was the ancient Hebrew. There was only one tongue. But after this, the nations would get divided and separated through tongues. Can't communicate, can't build. No communication, no building. Right? Let's read it, Elder Lawyer. The book of Jasher. Hold on, let me make it so you can see it here.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of what we're going into is also showing the importance of the extra biblical text, brothers and sisters. Okay? Come on.
This is the book of Jasher, chapter 9, verse 20 through 21, as well as verses 25 through 26.
Come on.
And King Nimrod reigned securely.
And King Nimrod reigned securely.
And all the earth was under his control.
Come on.
And all the earth was of one language and words of union.
Same thing written in the book of Genesis 11. Go on.
Verse 21. And all the princes of Nimrod and his great men took counsel together, put
Mizraim, which is Egypt, the father of Egypt, the name of Egypt was placed on that landmass later. That landmass originally was Matazarium or Mizraim. Read.
Cush and
Cush,
Canaan.
The original Ethiopian landmass, and the land of Canaan, which was later turned to Israel. But also Canaan bordered Mount Seir, Satan's mount. Okay, so this agenda, this one world agenda back then, okay, was what you would call an Hamitic agenda. So before Esau was in control, Satan was operating right after the flood with Hamites, or whom we call today North Africans. Okay. I'm not going to say Africans because why? You have to realize that that land region before the Western world, before America was created, that region culminated, was a mix of different races of people who came in and out of those land masses. Okay. As you can see, even during the time of Nimrod, all nations were there together building the tower. And they were doing that under Nimrod. A what? A Cushite. So Africa was in control over the one world at that time. Okay, but it doesn't have anything to do with black or ethnicity here. Because that's where the majority of people get confused when you say Africa. Automatically they think, okay, black people. But no, this is a black man, but he's controlling all nations. Okay? So here it is. You got Phut, Mizraim, Cush, and Canaan, right? And we know the Canaanite god Yahweh was worshipped back then. Go on.
With their families, and they said to each other, "Come, let us build ourselves a city, and in it a strong tower, and its top reaching heaven.
Come on.
And we will make ourselves famed, so that we may reign upon the whole world, in order that the evil of our enemies may cease from us, that we may reign mightily over them."
Now the problem is their enemies are the good ones. Their enemies is the angels of heaven, the Most High God, the Messiah, the Yeshua, us. The problem is their enemies that they're building against are the good people. See? Come on.
It says, "We may reign mightily over them, and that we may not become scattered over the earth on account of their wars."
On account of their wars. Come on.
Jump into verse 25. "And the building of the tower was unto them a transgression and a sin. And they began to build it, and whilst they were building against the Lord God of heaven."
So they was building against the Most High, not for the Most High. So just because, brothers and sisters, you see technology and think it's good and them going out in space and they give you all the feel-good stories of how it's to help mankind and all this, it's against the Most High. They will never tell you the true agenda behind their technology. All the technology that they're creating, they know has an evil imposition against good, against those that are right. Right? Go on.
And whilst they were building against the Lord God of heaven,
Come on.
they imagined in their hearts to war against him and to ascend into heaven.
And to do what?
And to ascend into heaven.
To make technology great, to build intelligence, teach the people that this is good. It makes their life convenient. It makes it more efficient. So you throw a little caveat out to the people as a way of saying, well, you're doing it the old way. I can make it faster, better, more efficient. So therefore, the people now know what? They're backing the technology and understanding. A matter of fact, they're reverencing the gods who are giving them the technology. Right? So now the beast is in their heart. Right? It also tell you in the two Babylons, and the references in that the only day of rest during the building of the tower was on Sunday, the first day of the week, and in reverence of what? The sun. Don't forget, when the Canaanites found the tablet, they learned to worship and reverence the sun, moon, stars. So when they begin to build the tower, the holy day for the Babylonians, or the building of the tower, would be what? Sunday. So that's your origin of Sunday worship. It had nothing to do with Christ. It never had anything to do with the Messiah or the Christ in the Bible. See? Come on, Elder Lawyer.
It says here, verse 26, and all these people and all the families divided themselves into three parts. The first said, we will ascend into heaven and fight against him.
So three parts. One of the parts, or the council, was, when we get there, let's fight against the God of all gods. Right? Read.
The second said, we will ascend to heaven and place our own gods there.
Hold up now. The fallen gods that fell to the earth to be worshipped and gave them technology. Okay, the agreement is, we give you the technology, you help us get back out from whence we came. Right? So that's an agreement between the people, the Gentiles, and the gods. See? Go on.
And serve them.
And serve them. So they were serving these gods on earth. So they knew of these gods and interacted with these gods. And guess what, brothers and sisters? It's no different today. There's no difference. Think about it. Look at all the areas in the mountainous areas with do not enter signs near the deserts and all that in different areas, not just in America. There's all these mountainous areas that's connected to military where normal people can't go. That's where they're getting all their technology from. They're communicating and operating with gods. Okay? Till this day. Same thing. You do our part. You do what we need you to do. Convince the people to help us build this construct against the God, and we will give you intelligence, finances. As a matter of fact, when we rule, you can rule with us. That's the agreement Satan had with the Luciferians. See? Which is an ancient idea. It's not, this isn't new here. This is an ancient idea. Right? That's the second council where they got together and say, well, listen, once we get there, let's set a place so that we can serve the gods and have a place for the gods. That's NASA. That's the Pentagon. That's the world military. This is their true agenda. It's ancient Babylonian. Right? Go on.
And the third part said, this is verse 26.
And the third part said what?
We will ascend to heaven and smite him with bows and spears. And God knew all their works and all their evil thoughts. And he saw the city and the tower which they were building.
Come on.
That's it on
now, he saw the tower which they were building, right? Now, when you look at this, they was also looking at this time to make weaponry that can fight against the angelic forces. Okay? Have weaponry to war against the heavenly, like they have today. See? Now, we are about to go into, bring it up into our time, how this, how this is leading to the rise of a beast system. Believe it or not, brothers and sisters, the majority of people in this earth today is building a tower. They are a part of the corporations with the same agenda against the Most High. The same, they don't know it. They just go on the job, they punching in, and their job is so compartmentalized, they don't even realize they're building the tower.
That's right.
Okay? You may work for this corporation or that corporation or that corporation without knowing the true agenda, because you're just what? You're just building one little piece of it. But in order for them to have us participate, they had to make us believe we were helping mankind, that we were actually doing a service to mankind. So Satan knew that eventually we would wake up and say, hold up, we're building Satan's world. What about Christ's kingdom and our kingdom to come? We're building his world. He knew that we would come to that understanding once the Most High would begin to awaken his people, start waking us up here. So so Satan is now making a system to say, you know what? We have to make it where choices are limited. We need to integrate this technology with them. So there won't be a disagreement or a thought to fight against his agenda. Okay? And that's how it's happening now. The technology now is now being aimed towards you. It's looking to be inside you to control you, to have you operate, to help build the beast construct. One moment, we'll go right into it. Oh man, I gotta go back. Okay. All right, brothers and sisters. So as you can see, there was a plan back then, during the old time, during the time of Nimrod, okay, where Sunday worship was actually, that was the origin of Sunday worship. They had a plan in reverence of the gods to go out into space. Now don't forget, Satan said that he would sit on the congregation of the north. He would be like the Most High. Now, something was going on in Babylon that enticed all nations to participate with this agenda, right? You're going to find out it's the same things happening today. Same thing. Now, let's go to Isaiah 14, 12, and 14 again, then go to Revelations 12 and 3. The rise of the beast. So we are examining this transhumanism system, this technological system, and think that, okay, this is passé, this is new, this is something brand new. The whole world is going into a new phase of technology and intelligence, and we all, man, this is great. It's one of the most evil times on earth, and there's nothing new under the sun. They were doing this back then. Okay, it's just our disconnect from past times would make us believe that this is something new. Okay, our disconnect from our history makes us believe that, okay, this is brand new. None of this it has never happened before. This is brand new technology. No. The rise of the beast, right? Isaiah 14 and 12.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12.
Come on.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
How did you fall, Lucifer?
Son of the morning.
Now you notice also how in our day and time, they make Lucifer out to be a good guy.
Right.
You notice that? A series, Lucifer. Satanist with statues, with the horned god hugging children. Right? This is the system we're in. You have Lucent technology, which is Lucifer's technology. All of the technology and cars and the things we use for efficiency have satanic or God's names attached to it. Right? How did you fall from heaven, O Lucifer? Read.
Son of the morning.
Son of the morning. Because why? Lucifer was a morning star that sang before the Most High. Okay? There's a number of angels who are severed out amongst the heavenly hosts every morning that sings to the Most High. Lucifer was one of them. Okay, so when it says son of the morning, there's not just one son of the morning. Okay, Christ is a son of the morning. Okay, there's a number of angels that sing before the Most High each morning. Lucifer was one of them. Read.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?
How did you come to earth?
Verse 13.
How did you come to earth is the question in the book of Isaiah. So this is actually destroying the mysteries of what we call aliens coming to earth. To get rid of that word alien, which is really, when you look at the word, it means powers or gods or a god. Allahayan. Okay. But all in all, let's get that alien stuff off the table. It's speaking of the gods that came to our realm who are ruling all governments in this earth today. Once we fell, once our father fell, Satan gained power. Okay, Satan took power over this whole earth. Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Come on.
Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart,
Come on.
I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
I will go into space. Read.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
Come on.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
I will be like the Most High. So he would eventually rule from heaven or space on the outside of the firmament and have the whole earth, all of creation, connected to him, so that he would sit in the minds and hearts of all the earth's creation. Okay, that was the plan. To connect everything to him, like all is connected to the God of gods, Ahia. He wants to be the great I am. See? Let's go to Revelations 12 and 3.
The book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 3.
Come on.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
And behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads.
Now the 7 heads represents the 7 mountains, which makes up what? Rome. The 10 horns are the 10 original nations of Edom, the European Edomite Rome, who is now the what? The modern day EU. With the same agenda. If you don't believe this, look at the new EU building that was built about 5 years ago. Okay, it's almost a direct replica of the unfinished Tower of Babel. Okay, it's speaking of the EU, Rome, who are Edomites who is worshiping the same God of ancient Babylon. Okay, and a matter of fact, who's that God? Yahweh. Okay, here's an ancient artifact of Yahweh, whom the Europeans eventually called Zeus. Same God. Same God. Worshiping who? Satan. Lucifer, the god of the Tetragrammaton, worshipped by the synagogue of Satan, who are Zionists or the Jewish powers today. Okay, they're the children of the 10 horns. The 7 heads and 10 horns make up the Roman Babylonian construct of our modern time, right? Read.
Revelations 12 and 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
It's speaking of the God of Rome. When he fell, he didn't just fall by himself, speaking of Lucifer. 1/3 of the angels came to this realm with him. 1/3 of the angels who would be served and worshiped on this earth as gods. Now, of course, we, God's people, the Israelites, were severed out from this worship to worship the true God. See? To worship the true God, the true God. But like I said earlier, they can't accomplish the one world order without getting God's people within their worships and ideologies. They would need to target us so that God's people can participate in this one world order agenda to worship who? Satan, and to build his construct. I'm going to show you the importance of this in one moment. Read.
Verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
1/3 of the angels, the stars, that's a lot of angels, came to this plane. Okay, so when you see the mystery of the gods and the history channels speaking of the gods and all that, and could this be with question marks, they can kill those question marks. They know the Bible answer this.
Right.
They know there's no aliens that are for mankind and trying to save mankind from themselves. They taught man evil. Okay? These are all lies. The real story of aliens is in the Bible. They're fallen gods and they are not for our turn. They're over every government of this earth. Okay? And they're not for us. They are against God's people. Right? Come on.
And didst cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
As soon as it was born. So it's speaking of the dragon, which is the devil, Satan, having a government in place to kill the child, or what you would call the savior, before it has an opportunity to fulfill prophecy. And what is that prophecy? To destroy and bond the power of Satan, brought down to hell, like it says in Isaiah, the 14th chapter. So Satan, knowing the judgment, said, listen, let me set up a government construct that could kill the chosen, like I set up in ancient Egypt. So when the prophecies were there, showing that Moses or a savior would be born, I would know now to implement a eugenics program, or a program that would be aimed towards killing the man seed that would bring forth the enemy that's prophesied to come against this society. So you see that? They did it during the time of Christ. They had Herod, which was an Edomite, over Judea to kill Christ, until the angel warned Joseph to take his son into Egypt. Even in our society now, Planned Parenthood and all that, right? There's a plan to kill the child before they were born, before they're actually in the earth. Okay? Same program. Read.
Verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
So she brought forth a man-child. That man-child is Christ, and that she is Israel. The children of Israel brought forth a son, Christ, who would rule all nations with a rod of iron. So Christ is prophesied to whip all the earth back. All the earth with a rod of iron. So he's going to do it through fierce war to put the whole earth under subjection once Satan is bound. Right? Read.
The rest of verse 5.
Come on.
And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne.
So that child was Christ. Eventually he was caught up to the throne after his crucifixion. He was in the earth for 3 days. And during this time in the earth, Christ took full power of that realm, so that upon his coming, he would release the souls for their change. And he was prophesying against the evil gods that were bound in hell, letting them know that through this sacrifice, he would have full victory to free his people, and would judge them at the end of his reign, the 1,000-year reign. Read.
Verse 6.
Come on.
And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
So it's speaking of the woman, which is Israel, the same woman Christ came from. Once the Romans began to destroy us, the serpent, the satanic European powers began to destroy us, we fled into the wilderness. We fled into Africa. We fled into different remote places, running from Roman persecution and slavery. Read.
Verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
Come on.
Verse 8. And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven.
Neither was their place found any more in heaven. What place? Well, keep in mind that once Christ got full power and authority from the heavenly realm after his resurrection, Satan had no more entry into the council of gods, okay, in which all the gods come together before the Most High and present themselves, okay. After Christ had full power of that realm, Satan can no more come before that council and accuse the brethren, What verse are you at there?
This is verse 8.
Come on.
And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven.
There was no more place where Lucifer or Satan can report before the throne like he did accusing Job and the prophets and the elders of the Old Testament. He could no longer go before the throne and accuse the righteous. Why? Because we had an adversary. We had a sacrifice that could cover our sins. Okay, read.
Verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan.
Come on.
Which deceiveth the whole world.
Which deceiveth the whole world. Now some would ask, well, why would Satan want to accuse the brethren? Well, once he accused the brethren before the Father, with our people doing continual evil, eventually that soul is turned over to him, so that he can rule over that person. He can rule over that being. And that's another agent he can utilize for his system, for his world. That's why he accused the brethren. The same way when you look back at the time of Cain. Okay. Satan couldn't just immediately be the ruler over Cain. Okay. But by Cain's disobedience and killing and lying, after being warned from the Most High, he was eventually turned over to Satan. So it's in Satan's interest to perpetuate evil and wickedness against the law of the Bible. This is how he gets those to build his temple, to build his agenda. See? Now, what verse are you at there, Elder Lawyer? 13?
Verse 9, sir. This is Revelations 12 and 9.
Come on.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan.
Called the devil and Satan.
Which deceiveth the whole world.
Which deceiveth the whole world. Okay. How did he deceive the whole world? Well, he make the whole world believe he is the Most High. See? Now, here's his trickery. He used, one moment. Everything's okay? Okay, one moment. One moment. One moment. Good?
Sir.
Okay.
Let's lock you.
No problem.
This is Revelation chapter 12.
No, this is what he used. He used the trickery or the deception that comes with the knowledge of good and evil. The tree of good and evil. See, when people look at Satan or think about Satan, you only, which we're taught, which is, I think, is a good thing, to look at him as an evil character according to Scripture. But we tend to forget that he has the potential to give man something that's good also. So that's how he deceives you. He'll give you something that's beneficial for a price. See? So he deals with both good and evil. And that's the confusion that's going on amongst the world. Okay? That's why people have been deceived by him, because he have done good also. Okay? In the minds of what we believe is good. See? The example I can give you, right? Here's an example, just on a low level. He'll take over a country, right? Kill about, 1 million or 2 like he did in Iraq, right? Totally kill off the people, which is bad, right? But then there will be photo ops of feel-good stories of a child who had his leg blown out by the government, and now he has an electronic prosthetic leg, in which now he can run faster than he did before his leg was blew off. Now the story would feel good when you hear the violins and all that behind it. But what are we missing? We're missing the story about the 1 million people and the family, his whole family is killed. You understand? He got his leg blew off by an unrighteous and evil government. That's an example I can give you. That's how he deceived you. He deceived you by doing something good. Okay, and he'll set up churches. He'll set up hospitals. All these things appear to be good, right? Well, not if you are administering killer vaccines. Not if you are pushing the quote unquote fake cancer program in which you were torturing people with chemotherapy and all that. That's deceitful. That's evil. Right? But come on.
Revelations 12 and the rest of verse 9.
Come on.
He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ.
Come on.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. So once Christ gained full power after the resurrection and Satan had no more entry into the heavenly realm, the angels rejoiced. Rejoiced. See? Imagine the heavenly realm continually having to tolerate this angel coming before them, accusing the same people that he actually turned evil. He would put things before man to tempt them. And once they do the evil, he goes before the heavenly realm and say, can I get him? Let me use him now. Look what he's doing. He had a choice to choose you, and he chose me. Can I use him? While the same angels that he's reporting amongst are employed with the task of coming to earth to help them find and be with the Most High and choose what's right. See? So the angels rejoiced, brothers and sisters. They were so happy. Okay? It's like, okay, at least we don't have to worry about him up here. But man, we feel sorry for what's going on in this earth now. Because now that Satan had no more entry into the heavenly realm, he would bring hell on earth. Read it.
Revelations 12, verse 10.
Come on.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God.
Come on.
And the power of his Christ.
And the power of his Christ. Read.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
Come on.
Which accused them before our God day and night.
Every day and night he would come before the throne and accuse and point to someone else that's doing wrong, so that he can gain more agents for his agenda within earth. Come on.
Verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood.
I want to put this out there too, because I know you have these atheists that would come on with this evil, wicked mindset. They're Satanists too. But they would come on and say, well, what type of God would allow this? Why don't he just stop it if it's wrong? Well, keep in mind, the Most High gave not only angels, but man free will. Okay? Free will is given. You have a choice. Okay? You have the choice to serve that God or do your own will. Okay? So that's the answer to that. Free will. Well, if God is so good and all that, why would he allow this to happen? Well, keep in mind that you have an evil operation going on also. That a judgment is set forth according to prophecy. The Most High is not going to overjump his prophecies to do what you think he should do. All things must be finished that was written in the Old Testament. It all must be accomplished. So the Most High is bound by his word. He's not going to undo his own word. Okay? Come on.
Verse 11, Revelations 12 and 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth.
Now woe to those that are in the earth.
and of the sea.
And of the sea.
For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Because Satan's time began to tick against him. Days began to become shorter ever since Christ was crucified. See, time is ticking like that. The Most High sped up time for his judgment. So he realized this, right? So he must do everything in a short amount of time, his oath to get back out into space and to rule from there. He must do this against the time allotted. So what he's doing, he's raking the earth. He's drilling the earth. He's doing everything to get the technology to get out there. And it doesn't matter how many people die in the interim. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care. As long as he do this agenda, it doesn't matter how many people dies. So it says, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. He's going to kill the animals. He's going to kill the fishes of the sea. Only a small amount of water is going to be left where fishes and all that can live in before Christ come back. And that's going to be the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, that's going to be really the only living sea before it's all said and done. He will kill the seas, kill the people, kill everything off just to get the technology to drill and deal with this earth to get back out there. And guess who's going to help him? You got it. The world is helping him do this. See? Woe unto what?
The inhabitants of the earth.
Us.
And of the sea.
Come on.
For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Because he know he only have a short time. Now, brothers and sisters, Satan is the beast. He's the beast. When I say he's the beast, he's the one that gives power to all the empires. He's the life source, the intellect, all of that behind world governments. He is the beast. He's the serpent. He's the power that operates with each beast. Okay? Now, the problem is today, especially in your modern day, Judeo-Christian, which is Christian doctrine, which is really the most evil and most evil doctrine on earth, if you want to know the truth, using Christ's name. They would make you believe, and it's a Jesuit teaching, okay? They would make you believe that the beast is one antichrist man that's going to come, and it's going to be some evil man with an idea and be Satan as a man. No, Satan operated since he fell, okay, to this realm. He's been in power ever since Adam fell to the knowledge of good and evil. Okay? He's still here. It's him. He hides himself. He hides himself while working, while operating with the same agenda of ancient Babylon. Right? Let me read this article real quick. Okay? Go to Revelations 13 and 11. Speaking of the beast, speaking of the rise of the beast.
Revelation.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Revelations 13 and 11. And I heard another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
And he spake as a dragon.
And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
To worship the first beast.
Whose deadly wound was healed.
Whose deadly wound was healed. Now, what beast had a womb? That would be the Roman Empire. When it was when the womb developed internally through military internal war. Septimius Severus and Pescennius Niger began to destroy internally the rule of Rome. So that beast was healed, right? I mean, that beast was wounded, but it was healed as America. Who gave the fourth beast its power? Satan did. Satan gave Rome its power. So who's going to give this new beast its power? You got it. Satan. Now, if the deadly wound was healed, brothers and sisters, that means the same empire is still ruling. Which what? You may have America, which is the glory of all cities. Okay? It has more glory than Babylon could have imagined. It has all the glory of Rome and more. But guess what? It's only an extension of an idea, an ancient idea from the fourth beast. It's Rome on steroids. Okay? So when it says its deadly wound was healed, that means this new empire would be an extension of the fourth beast. Rome or Edom is still ruling the world, right? With the same God who gave the beast its power. Let's go and see who gave the beast its power real quick in Revelations.
Revelations chapter 13, verse 1.
Go ahead.
In fact, I'll jump down to verse 2. And the beast which I saw, Revelations 13 and 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Come on.
And his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
Go on.
And the dragon gave him his power.
And a dragon did what?
And the dragon gave him his power.
And Satan gave him his power. Read.
And his seat and great authority.
And great authority. So who gives intelligence, understanding, idea, and religion to an empire? Satan himself. And he used those ideas to deceive the world, to control it from a government trust construct. See? And let's go back to Revelations 13. So who gives the empires their power? The dragon. Who's the dragon? Satan himself. Go on.
Verse 13.
Come on.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven.
He doeth great wonders, that he make fire come down from heaven. Now, they teach us in modern day Judeo-Christianity that this is talking about a man that's going to come with some magic powers before the world. Oh, CNN, let's pan in on the beast, doing magic tricks and having fire come down from heaven. Don't wait for that, okay? That's a deception. That's a lie, a Jesuit deception created through the Christian Jesuits, okay? The sorcerers over Christian doctrine. There will be no man standing up making fire come from heaven. This is speaking of the technology that Satan would give the empires, like Rome, like America, like he gave America. Who's controlling America? The Jewish Zionists, who are sorcerers. Who's given them their technology and understanding? Satan. Read.
Revelations 13 and 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men.
In the sight of men. Read.
Verse 14. And
read 13 again, real quick.
Verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Now, let's bring this to modern day prophecy. Here's an article from edition.cnn.com, right? That speaks of what's going on over there, the war between the Western world or America and Syria, right? Now, we all know that America was colonized out of what? Rome. There was 3 parts of the ancient Rome that made the new America: France, Spain, and Great Britain. All 3 of these were wars against the new world, or the place they would make the new Babylon or Rome, an extension of Rome, right? Now, CNN reports on this about Syria. We're going to read this in a moment, right? Now, none of us really know what's going on over there in Syria, right? Because why? There's a control over all of the media, and all the reporting is being controlled strictly from, media is being blocked out altogether, controlled by the Zionists and America. So you don't really know what's going on over there, right? They claim that ISIS is killing all these people over there in Syria. When all the bad things that are happening is quote unquote ISIS. Okay. When you all know that ISIS, you should know by now, if you're, if your eyes are open, that ISIS really don't exist at all. Okay. ISIS is a Hollywood thing made up to make you believe they exist through Hollywood. Okay. But these stories, when they killed 300, 400, 500 people and say, well, ISIS did this, you can actually put that on the Western world and say, okay, this is Israel or America doing these things. Okay. And by using this ISIS title, they're not complicit. Okay. It's ISIS doing it. So when America killed 200, you never hear about Americans killing anyone in Syria, do you? Right? Now, it says here from edition.cnn.com, right? British emergency, it says, fire fell like rain in Syria. That's the title. Now it says the beast will do what? The beast doeth great wonders. Go on.
So that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men.
In the sight of men. CNN.com. Fire fell like rain in Syria. Now, there wasn't no man standing up saying he's God, raining fire. Here's prophecies being fulfilled before your eyes. Prophecy ignored based on fake, false, deceptive Jesuit teachings concerning the Antichrist. How they promote the Antichrist doctrine so that you don't point to government war against countries. You don't point to that as Bible prophecy. Right? British emergency doctor Saleha Hassan describes them in less clinical terms, the terms of her patients. The descriptions were fire falling like rain, just falling like rain, plumes of flames, and then balls of flames falling out of the sky, she said. Now, how some guys in caves, some mercenaries have this type of technology? How can this be ISIS having fire raining down on Syria? Some guys on a makeshift tank or a jeep doing these things, right? They're lying. It says here, the description was fire falling like rain, just falling like rain, plumes of flames, and then balls of flames falling out of the sky, she said. Their clothes had just been stripped off them from the power of heat of the incendiary device, covered in burns, and some of them very shocked and quiet and not sure where they were and what was going on. The heat from the fire raining out of the heavens was burning off the clothing of the Syrians before the fire would come. What we're showing you here, the beast in full power according to prophecy, the rise of the beast. And it's not an antichrist. It's not one man. While you over here looking at TV on some of Trump's indiscretions 10 years ago and laughing about it, these people are being attacked. Bible prophecy is being fulfilled before your eyes. And who's executing this? The beast. Right? Read what it says here. It says, get the 14th verse for me here.
Verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
We're going to go into that womb by a beast in a moment. The womb of the beast that did live in a moment. But keep in mind, when John was seeing this, or the prophets were seeing this, It's described in the Bible as signs and wonders. But today we would call it intelligence, technology. Okay? Technology, ingenuity, high-level weaponry. And think about it, brothers and sisters. Why do the world need to ramp up all this military might against citizens? What's really going on here? Okay, what's really going on that a world, a nation have enough nukes to blow the earth to hell and back 20 times? What type of threat is really going on? Is there any threat amongst civilians that will, that would have them need a bomb that will blow up the whole earth 15, 20 times? So what are they really ramping up against? What are they really arming up against is the question. The citizens are already broken all over the earth. If you've traveled anywhere in the earth, you realize there's no group anywhere that can raise up and destroy the world powers in military might. Nowhere. Right? So, it tells us about this beast who would have a deadly wound. That wound would be healed, and eventually, once it gains its full power, it would have technology that would rain fire from the sky and destroy people where the technology would be beyond our normal understanding of weaponry, right? It's going on right now in Syria. It's going on right now there in the Middle East. And it's not ISIS either. Right? Read the 15th verse.
Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Now, when we talk about the image of the beast, you would have your military go from one land to the next, implementing a system through democracy, right? And through this system, it would have an established way of getting the citizens to participate in the new world idea, right? That the image can speak, communicate. They would be one with this beast eventually by succumbing to this colonization, this takeover, this social engineering. So when they say they're going over to a new country, because this country have a dictator that they probably set up anyway, and that they're going to give these people democracy or America's way of living, or this garbage, these lines they're bringing forth, these straight lies. They're really setting up a beast system in which Satan can now be amongst and in the people. Okay? I don't think that's too far-fetched. Look what's going on in America right now. Look what's going on in the UK. Look what's going on all over the Western world that's already been colonized. Okay? Now, what I've noticed traveling, in Babylon, a lot of things has changed within the last 7 years. Okay? You can be walking down the street, or you can be rolling down the street amongst the Babylonian citizens and people that are operating. Everyone that I see, lawyer, is walking with their phone in front of them and just walking. It's like a zombie apocalypse going on, where people in the middle of the street with no care of their own safety or health, be in the middle of the street texting or looking at the phone and totally, bugged out and separated from reality altogether. And their whole life is in their instrument, in their phones, in their hand. Where it's psychotic. Where people, you'll beep your horn and they'll look up and it'd be like people are driving cars, texting and communicating while driving trucks and all that. So they have already acclimated a system of the beast within our minds to communicate through technology all the time, 24 hours a day. We're just connected to a beast, an idea, an understanding, not realizing it comes with a program or spirit. It's other countries out there. There's other countries out there that you would think that you would call what they call them, not third world countries, but they're not as fast tracked
Right.
as the Western world.
Right. Not as logically advanced.
That's the word. They're not as technologically advanced, right? They're more family oriented. They still have a sense of morality based on reality. These places are a threat to the one world government. Okay? Now they're going into Syria. You look at Syria, one of the few places, brothers and sisters, that are left that they were still speaking ancient Phoenician Hebrew in certain areas. Family-oriented places they're breaking down. Fire raining from heaven, right? Read on. So you think it's about this war with Syria. You might think it's about some bad guys in Syria that need to be removed. Who they say, Assad? Mm-hmm. You believe that narrative? Assad need to be removed because he's a dictator and America or the Western world can give them a better life. Mm-hmm. And right now, that's what they tell us while they're raining fire on these people, right? A beast system that leads to what? Read that last part again.
Revelations 13 and 15.
Come on.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
So if you're not down with the idea of worshiping Satan and building the tower, you should be, according to the prophecies, killed according to this world's government. You'll be demonized, called terrorist, marginalized, or killed off altogether if you're not willing to go along with the new way. See? This is Bible prophecy, right? Read the 16th verse.
Verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
In their right hand or in their foreheads. Now let's break down each piece of this, right? So, this idea of Satan to bring everyone under their one world power, right, will cause what? Everyone, whether it be rich or poor, right, free or bond. That means arrested, locked up, or just freely walking around. Whether you are Bill Gates or the poorest homeless person on earth. Doesn't matter. To do what?
To cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
In their right hand or in their foreheads. That's Satan sitting in the temple in your minds now. See? So when you make this choice, it can be your last free will choice. Let me show you. I spoke of this in countless, we have spoken about this in countless lessons, even on the streets. We've spoken of this. This RFID chip, a two-way radio in Barack Obama's, which is not Obama's. That healthcare plan was drew up well before Barack Obama was in office. What they call the Affordable Care Act, where there's a two-way radio device. A two-way radio device within the healthcare plan, right? We spoke of this. Right? A two-way radio, the size of a grain of rice. They're going to deceive you through your news circulations, through your media, through TV. Okay? There it is right there. Getting injected. Your doctors will have this. When you go to get your license, they will have someone there that can do this for you. Okay? On top of that, they'll have kits. These kits you can order yourself through your computer and inject them into your loved one. This is merging all of those with Satan or under Satan's religions with him. That's what this is. He will be like God, and he will be all in all, ruling from outside the firmament, connecting all those who reverence and respect him as their God. He's going to be connected, all in all. Right? Now there's more. Look at this. Now, how does this link to us? What do we have to do? How can we avoid this is the question, right? They will cause, right? They will cause, read it again, Elder Lawyer.
And he causeth all, both small and great,
whether you small or great,
rich or poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
To receive it in their right hand or foreheads. So, first of all, they would have a cause that would lead to people deciding that this technology is a good thing. Mm-hmm. See? It won't be by force. They, according to what John the Revelator is showing us, the governments of this earth just have to create or make a reasonable cause, mm-hmm, so that you can have free will to take on the mark. So here's some of the causes. We've been doing it. We've been testing this for years in dogs, and the dogs are fine. Right? Here's another cause. Well, look at the children are being missing, they're coming up missing and being kidnapped. Right? Wouldn't you want to know where your child is at any given time with all these deviants and rapers and pedophiles on the loose when they are actually the rapists and pedophiles on the loose? Right? Well, these pesky papers you're utilizing or you're using, this paperwork you're using, you can lose your you can lose your license, you can lose your birth certificate, you can lose your Social Security card. Why can't you just have this just be all in one in you, and it's secure? No one can steal it. All right? And the way they have this technology, which is angel technology, the way it works is it's fueled by your bloodstream, which means if someone try to take it out or cut your arm off or whatever the case is, the chip dies. The chip turns off. Or in the beast system, it'll say terminated or whatever the case is. But your blood fuels the image of the beast or the RFID chip. Right? Cause both small or great, rich or poor, to receive, right? Mm-hmm. Read.
To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
In their right hand or in their foreheads.
Verse 17. and that no man might buy or sell,
no man will be able to buy or sell,
save he that had the mark or the name of the beast.
Hold up now before you go there, because I'm going to show you how this links to them needing us, God's people, or those that were saved out of Egypt. They need our complicity to complete this. They need us to be compliant into this, to complete Satan's agenda, to be in the hearts and minds of all creation, right? Hold tight. I'm going to show you why they need this. Okay, going right back in. Read the last verse you was at again, real quick.
Verse 17.
Read the 16th verse.
Verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor.
Small and great, rich and poor. Now hold up. Now let me get this real quick, Elder Lawyer. I'm going to get this out of the Greek. He causeth, having a copulation or cumulative force. That's a cause. Right? He causeth, which is obsolete, primary, to make or do. Right? Abide, or an agreement, to appoint. Right? To abide or band together, an agreement. Another thing they're going to say, well, listen, suppose you have health care issues. If you have a health care issue and you were to fall out or be unconscious, wouldn't you want that, that doctor or those who find you on the scene, those within the ambulance, EMTs, to know exactly what your ailment is so that they can't give you something you are allergic to? It's going to be certain causes going to make it convenient. What about an elderly person? Suppose they fall or something happens to them, they're unconscious. Shouldn't it be a system that can be alerted to come get your parent? Suppose your grandparents or your father or mother walk off and lose themselves in a park someplace due to Alzheimer's, which is created through vaccines and all that. Or they have some type of disease, right? These are causes, right? But these are not going to be the causes that's going to make people, choose the beast. The greatest cause will be what? Money. Okay? They've already tried the Alzheimer thing. They've already tried all these other things, and people are not biting. People just don't want, cannot fathom the idea of having a machine connected to their bloodstream. Right? So, the majority of people are going to take this strictly off of what? The love of money. Mm-hmm. The love of finances, money. See? So what they're going to do is, if they've already made it where there's more credit in the system than there is money. And they've printed so much money that have nothing, zero. There's zero value that's backing the paper they're printing. Right? So really, we've already been acclimated, brothers and sisters, into a cashless society where we're just spending credit without actually transferring physical goods. If you don't believe that, go online and order something and use your card right now and tell me, what was the transfer? Did you give a good to receive a good? No. Right now, they're just transferring credit from one place to the next, numbers. There's nothing physical behind anything anymore. One last thing they have to do: flatline the economy. Okay? Make it where your credit is still somewhere in gigabyte land, but there's no physical money anymore. There's no need for it. Your money's there in credit. You just have to be able to access it. How do you access it? It's a cause, right? So they're not going to say, well, listen, right out, I'm stealing your money. Okay? I'm taking your money. And in order for you to get your money, you must get the mark of the beast. They're not going to say that. They're going to say, well, all money is a threat because terrorists been using the money to do bad things. Mm-hmm. The system cannot uphold the Federal Reserve System and the way the monetary system was set up to fail. The world powers, the world structure can no longer uphold that sort of spending, that way of operating financially. So they're going to transition into another form of finance. This is going to be the last step that's going to get the majority of their participants into the mark of the beast system, right? Now, I need you to read this real quick, Elder Lawyer. He calls of all, both small and great, Revelations 13. Rich and poor, free and bond to receive. Now, I need you to read what it says for receive, this word first. Receive.
It says here, to give.
To give.
By implication or by implication, literally or figuratively, greatly modified by the connection, adventure, bestow, bring forth, commit, deliver up, give, grant, hinder, make.
Hold up. Give or grant, right? So to receive is to give, right? Read the next one here.
It says here.
When it says mark, what word does it say for mark?
For mark is charagma.
The word mark is charagma, to give a mark. What is a mark?
It says here, a scratch or etching that is stamped as a badge or of servitude.
A badge of servitude. Okay? So it's an etch, an etching, or a stamp, a badge of servitude. Let me show you what an etching is. An etching is what? Or a scratch is a piercing of the skin. You're going to have those out there who claim that this is not the mark of the beast. These are liars. If they claim it's anything else outside of something being injected, they are liars. Because the Greek is the etching or scratch under the skin. What are we seeing? The book of Revelations fulfilled. Right? See that? Now going back to the original premise, that when the Most High was looking to separate our people from the powers of the serpent under Egypt, he gave his people his understanding, his way of doing things, his name, and said, well, you know what? You need to separate yourself from them to come serve the living God, right? Right? Now check this out. As a curse, we were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 64 real quick. I'm going to show you why they had to set up this system we see today, which is a one world system that could number all people, censor all people, to eventually come up with a program that would include all people into that new Tower of Babel. Okay? The mark of the beast system, which is really an old system. Now, it was quite easier for them to do this in the old time. Why? Because during the biblical times, all nations were really in their respective areas. So to get the whole world under one idea was quite simpler back then, right? But something happened in which Satan would have to broaden that to a one world order system in our modern time that it spoke of in Revelations 13. They have to set up the system because God's people were scattered everywhere. Okay? That's the whole point. Read Deuteronomy 28 and 64.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64.
Here's a curse.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth, even unto the other.
So God's chosen people who were severed from amongst the Gentiles, who once had the land of Israel, speaking of our people, there was a curse that led to Israel's desolation. God's people being scattered and losing all identity. Right? Now there's a prophecy, an ancient prophecy concerning these same people who would overcome the curses and rule the whole earth under the Messiah. So Satan understands that also. So he must have a serious system in place at the very end who could identify that particular bloodline. In order to do that, he must link the whole world to the beast, including the people who are scattered. Read it.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth, even unto the other.
Come on.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Come on.
Even wood and stone.
Other religions, Gentile religions, right? But even in those Gentile religions, we all grew up in those, right? We still found the truth, didn't we? Eventually, we were able to reject the gods, the fallen gods we were cursed to follow. You see that? So Satan understood there would come a time of awakening, that God's people would separate themselves from the curse, that the Most High would begin to communicate with his people and say, that's not the way. It's time to separate from the Gentile world so you could serve me like he did back then. They knew this time would come, brothers and sisters. The powers of this world under Satan understood this time. So they set up a system that would actually entice our people to participate. Okay? Money. The love of money. Right? Now get Revelation 7 real quick. And get the other mark. If Satan has a mark, he must understand that there's a mark. Because why? Satan just plagiarized everything from the Most High. That's all he does. He copies the Most High. So if Satan has a mark, he must have got this idea from the Most High's mark. If he was going to rule from beyond the firmament, be all in all and connected to all, he must have got that idea from the Father. So if Satan has a mark that will have a cause for all people, old, young, rich, poor, free, bond, to be released from prison and all that, for healthcare reasons, to be found and all that, for financial reasons. If Satan has a mark, then the Most High must have one. Right? Let's go to Revelation 7.
Revelation chapter 7, verse 1.
Come on.
And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God.
Go on.
And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the servants, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
Until we have sealed what?
The servants of our God in their foreheads.
Hold up now. Hurt not the earth. We're near the very end now. All the destruction you see them, they're raining fire from heaven and all that, right? Well, don't hurt the earth right now. We must preserve a people that would have what? Read that last piece again.
Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, till we have, nor the trees.
Come on.
Till we have sealed the servants of our God.
Until we have sealed the servants of our God.
In their foreheads.
In their foreheads. So there's a sealing going on. A sealing of the Most High's elect. And Satan is looking to copy that, using the substance within our realm. Okay, the materials within the earth's realm. They're looking to copy that, right? In their foreheads. Read.
Verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed.
And I heard the number in which those were sealed. Read.
And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
And there were sealed 144,000 of all the children of Israel. Now let's get that mark that the children of Israel would have. Satan has his mark, the mark of the beast. They're looking to inject either in your hands or in your foreheads. Okay. Let's see the mark of the Most High.
Revelation chapter 14, verse 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with them 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads.
Hold up now. Hold up now. Read it again.
And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion.
A lamb stood upon Mount Zion. That's Christ.
And with them 144,000.
144,000. The same 144,000. The Most High said in Revelations 7 to the 4 angels, hurt not the earth. The trees don't destroy anything. Utter desolation will not come on my people until I seal a certain number. And there was sealed 12,000 from each tribe of all the children of Israel when you read Revelation 7. Right? What's sealed in them? What's that mark that separates them from Satan's mark? From Satan's technology? Read.
Having his father's name written in their forehead.
Having their father's name, the Most High's name, Ahiah, written in their foreheads. So their communication and understanding is coming from the God of gods. The doctrine, the understanding is coming from the same God who led us out of Egypt. While the others have the mark of the beast in their foreheads that will eventually lead them into taking the physical technology, in which the thoughts and all that will come from the beast. The ideas, the understanding, everything that those that take this technology, it will all be from Satan. Okay? And guess what? Some of it will be good. A lot of it will be good. I've mentioned this in the academy, and we've talked about the transhumanist agenda, how a lot of the technology they're using now, or a lot of sicknesses they're using now, is to have a miracle antidote with the chip. The miracle antidote for a lot of sicknesses, will be with the chip. Those who have autism, who can't think straight, who need some help with learning and all that, it's going to be in your chip. Okay? Just imagine. I mean, how many of you today, when you want to know something about anything, you Google it? Okay? You'll type it in. It'll give you the insight or the information on how to do this, that, the other. Well, just imagine not having to Google. It's good, right? There you go. They'll upload anything you need to be the perfect man or be the perfect woman according to this world, but with a price. But with a price. Right? But getting back to my point, Satan is copying the mark from the Most High's mark. The Most High's mark is when what? You are connected and controlled, not controlled, but really directed. Excuse me. Control is not a right word here. You are directed with the right thoughts through the Holy Spirit. Let me get it real quick. Let's get the mark, which is the Holy Spirit, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ephesians 4:30.
Thank you. That's it right there.
Ephesians 4:30.
Come on.
And grieve not the Holy Spirit of God.
And grieve not the Holy Spirit of the Most High.
Whereby ye are sealed.
Whereby ye are sealed.
Unto the day of redemption.
Unto the day of redemption. So when it says grieve not, read it again.
And grieve not the Holy Spirit of God.
The Holy Spirit of God.
Whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption.
So that sealing with the name of the Most High in our foreheads is what? The receiving and understanding of the Holy Spirit. See? So not like in ancient times when the Most High saved all of Israel, brothers and sisters. This time only those who make the choice towards Christ and baptism and receive the Holy Spirit would they then have the mark that will lead us to the day of redemption. Are you following me here? We had one type of deliverance the first time where all Israel was delivered the name. We were delivered the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, and we all went in. Well, at least the children of us went into the Holy Land. All 12 tribes. But this time, the spiritual mark will be those who choose Christ and are baptized and receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. That's the Most High's mark, and that's what? You see Satan's mark of the beast in Revelations. Are you seeing this? Now I've got a few more, then I'll answer a few questions here. Right? Read Revelations real quick, Elder Lawyer. Revelations 14:8. So all of Israel, brothers and sisters, all of Israel will not make it into the kingdom of heaven. A lot of Israel who were scattered and did not choose right will be acclimated into Satan's new world program and receive the mark of the beast. Only a remnant of Israel will have the mark of the Most High and make it to the other side. And you cannot get this if you do not first receive the gift of the Holy Spirit that comes with accepting the truth of the Anointed One, Christ. Now, I'm saying Christ because that's the name or understanding of those who speak English, who know who I'm talking about. Okay? His name is Yeshua in the Hebrew, which is Savior in the Hebrew language. I'm just saying Christ. And for those who don't know, okay, his holy name, those who call on Jesus or Christ, That's whom I'm speaking of. But in the real name and the real understanding of ancient times, when there was no J's, his name is Yeshua. You must believe on him. You must trust him, read about him, get to know him, and receive the spirit that was in him, which is the correct mark that leads you to have the mark and seal of the name of the Most High in your forehead. Okay? Go on, Elder Lawyer.
Revelations chapter 14, verse 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, is fallen.
Babylon is fallen, is fallen. Read.
That great city, because she made all the nations to drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
Come on.
And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image.
If any man make a choice to worship the beast of Babylon, to help his construct, to receive his image. Read.
And receiveth his mark in his forehead or in his hand.
Come on.
The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
Go on.
And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they shall have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name.
So if you worship the beast and his image, or if you take this image, the prophecies is damning. Okay, your future is damning. That means the Most High will use you and show you as a public spectacle before the angels and those that served him. And you will die a serious death and be thrown in the fire with the same beast you worshiped, according to the book of Revelations. So this is a choice beyond this life. If you choose this system, that choice is a choice beyond our present life. Read it again.
Revelations chapter 14, verse 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
Come on. And that's America, which is an extension of Rome. Go on.
And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his head, the same in his forehead or in his hand,
come on,
the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
That's self-explanatory. Now, here's some more news for you, okay? This is from deepdive.com, and it says, an RFID system supporting the behavior analysis of colonial, okay? Now, we just took a few quotes out of this particular article. It's an excerpt from a journal called International Journal of RFID Technologies 5, and this was published 2013, only a few years ago. Okay? Read what it says. Read this quote for me, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. It says here, the main goal of this work is to present the development and then to validate a reliable and effective system for the automatic tracking of laboratory mice. They always start with the animals, but now this same RFID technology is being placed in people. This means that the very move,
that means your every
move will be known by the beast system.
It says that means your every move will be known by the beast system. Read.
You can always drop your cell phone, but once that chip is in place, what will you do then?
You can always drop your cell phone, which means you can make a choice to turn your phone off. Mm-hmm. But what will you do then? Now, this is another thing that a lot of people don't know. is that this particular chip is a two-way radio, which means it's a listening device. And when and it's two ways, both ways. So if it's shot in you, there's no need for them to bug your home or anything like that anymore. Okay? If your animals have it, or if one of you have it, or someone chooses to have it, your home is continually bugged with a two-way radio. So that means Satan is in every house and can hear everything within that particular house, right? And your bloodstream keeps it charged. So there's no such thing as you turning this off, right? Finish reading it, Elder Lawyer.
It says here, a so-called medical expert named Dr. Oz promoted the chip on his TV show.
So Dr. Oz, which is a Zionist tool, a Satanist, he promoted this particular device on his TV show. Read.
Which millions all over the world watch on a weekly basis.
Another, matter of fact, we have to put some of these up on the page. We're going to have a page on gatheringofchrist.org, Rise of the Beast News. So we can just put up articles showing the prophecies fulfilled, what the progressive Satanists are moving into at this point. Naturalnews.com, RFID chips, remote kill, right? New World Order implantable RFID chips, capable of remotely killing non-compliant slaves. Okay? Now, of course, your pastor or preacher or your Seventh-day Adventist church will tell you that this particular device is not the mark of the beast. Okay? They're going to say, well, it works in dogs and all that. It's fine. Well, guess what? Dogs don't spend money. Okay? Dogs is not who they're looking to control. That's just a way of getting you acclimated into believing it's okay. And there's facets of this particular chip they haven't turned on yet in your dog so that you can believe it's okay. All right. Read what it says here, Elder Lawyer, concerning this chip from Natural News. Okay. Can you see that?
It may need to be enlarged.
Okay. One moment. Let me enlarge it for you. You can see it better now, right?
Much better. Perfect.
All right. One moment. From Natural News. Okay, go ahead, Elder Lawyer.
It says, positioned as the solution to eliminating identity theft, lost wallets and purses, and a host of other information breaches, the all-inclusive implantable RFID tracking chip is gaining momentum for widespread implementation.
It ain't gaining no momentum over here, but go on.
Recent news reports indicate that an RFID tracking chip capable of killing humans that presumably do not comply with rogue government demands has already been invented.
It's already been invented. That's for those who might choose the technology and then begin to have a change of heart. Okay? So you're being controlled outside of your power by this implant. It's controlling your nerves and all that. It's making you irate, giving you mental disorders, tripping you out. Birth control, it's a way they can control your emotions and also stop people from having certain children. It's also a sterilization tool where you can promote that and say, women, you don't have to worry about taking the crazy pills, birth controls that's making you crazy. We have one-stop shopping. You can have it all with your RFID chip. But guess what? Now you find out that this is more evil and wicked and more of a sick technology than the birth control pills you were taking. Mm-hmm. See? And you decide, well, hold up. And you start speaking like, I'm going to get this thing out of me. And guess who's listening? You got it. The same government that shot it in you. Mm-hmm. The NSA and all of them is listening to these chips. They have this big building where everyone is being listened to. Oh, this thing is about to be out of me. Huh? Next thing you know, you kill over, they'll claim you died of a heart attack. Okay? The same way most people are dying today by their pharmaceuticals, and they claim it's, well, we don't know what happened, probably a heart attack or whatever. Same old thing, but it's in you now, right? Another thing they're going to have. They're going to claim that with the RFID chip, you can check your sugar levels and you can also check your blood pressure yourself. Mm-hmm. Okay? But come on. There's another one here, right?
Yes, sir.
This is from the... Now, I'm going through these articles. Why? This is mainstream media. It's not being hid from you anymore. The only thing that's disconnected from these news articles is that these publications are not telling you the Bible prophesied mm-hmm. the system we're living in right now, right? HuffingtonPost.com, right? Mind control. How egg devices read brain waves, right? Read that, Elder Lawyer.
It says, Lowe is hoping to speed up such medical advances with his new product, a device the size of a U.S. quarter that he plans to release sometime next year. Lowe's Brain 3 will be the first FDA-approved EEG device on the market, which means it can be used for medical as well as recreational purposes. Lowe said his goal is to drive the cost of the product down to less than $100 in order to have a lot of people using it.
Ain't that something? Hold up. Read these quotes again.
It says here, Lowe's iBrain 3 will be the first FDA-approved EEG device on the market, which means it can be used for medical as well as recreational purposes.
Come on.
Lowe said his goal is to drive the cost of the product down to less than $100 in order to have a lot of people using it.
Go ahead.
With all the applications the world has already found for EEG technology.
See that? The whole world have been acclimated into accepting EEG technology through your cell phones and through the other technologies. Read.
Video games.
Computer games.
Come on. Painting, composing, mind-controlling cat ears, even letting people walk again.
See that? See, the only thing that's missing out of this article that possibly can't happen by reading this is the violins. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's the only thing that's missing, brothers, is the violins. Don't you want to walk again? Right? So you're used to, they've already acclimated the whole system into the beast to the point where people are disconnected real time. They don't even know how to have a normal conversation with regular people anymore. They're walking in a trance, looking at a machine in their hands without any care of their life. They're running off roads and accidents and all that right now. Right? They're going to make the technology the next stage in this satanic progression. They're going to make a new technology under $100 so everyone can be involved, right? Finish reading, Elder Lawyer.
It says a tiny EEG for under $100 may be just what it takes to make mind reading go mainstream.
To make mind reading go mainstream, which means what? With these chips, they're going to give you the technology or the app to listen to thoughts. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, a lot of you don't know this, brothers and sisters, that the Most High communicate with us all the time. And we communicate with him through thoughts. Okay? That's the communication, the unseen communication. Okay? You go to sleep and wake up with an idea. You've been communicated to. That's how it works. You're spiritually connected. Well, Satan wants that for himself. Okay? He wants your thoughts. He wants your understanding. He wants to give you what's needed to operate within his world. He wants your soul. Okay? That's how it works. And he can only do it through the technology that was relegated to this realm, within this realm. You can only use these materials to try to mimic what he witnessed in the heavenly realm when he was once amongst our God, our anointed Messiah in power. Okay? Now there's a few other things I wanted to go into here. One moment. One moment. Let's go straight to it. Let's go to 2 Ezra 5, 7 through 10. A matter of fact, let's not get that. I can go into that another time. Let's get Revelations once more. Revelations 13. The rise of the beast system. Right? And I know a lot of you out there are being distracted right now with the election type thing. Okay? And I'm going to say it right now. It doesn't matter what face they put before you. These are Zionist puppets that are just used for the dumbed down population. These people that they put up as elected officials, they have no power at all concerning the legislation of this world. They're just front pieces. All right, so don't get caught up there. Okay, you have to look at those that are controlling them or that have paid for their campaigns, that donate to their campaigns. These are the real powers over the world, not the politicians. The politicians are just puppets. Okay, Hillary Clinton will read whatever they put in the teleprompter. Okay, that's it. Donald Trump will only read what's placed before him, in the teleprompter. You have to look at those who are controlling the teleprompter. Okay? And then you have to look at those that pay for them to have jobs, the editors, the publishers and all that. You have to look at the Rockefellers and all the high foundation families that are controlling this earth. You have to look at those who control Red Cross. You have to look at the Jewish Zionists and the true agendas behind Satan's program, the true people that are controlling the presidency. Okay? I want to put that out there real quick. Go back to Revelations 13.
Revelations 13, which verse?
At the very end, again, about the mark of the man. And I want to say this also. And I mentioned this in the academy last week. No standing president, no living president ever stop being president. Every president in their family have what you would call security detail, Secret Service detail. And they have jobs as ambassadors well after their administrations. There's no president that ever stops being president. Bill Clinton never went away, okay? George Bush's, they never went away. You are a standing president as long as you're living. You'll be called Mr. President. So you'll be placed in an ambassador position like Barack Obama is now. He's an ambassador within the UN, has a UN position, which is really a higher position than the presidency itself. Okay? Let's go to Revelations 13 once more. And he's being controlled by the Zionist Jewish synagogues of Satan, who are implementing this technology for the beast, brothers and sisters. This is the rise of the beast here. Okay? This is the system we're in. And the only way we're protected or get that hedge is to be baptized, renounce all sin, confess our faults to the Most High that we've sinned against him, and pray for his protection. And align ourselves with the righteous. Okay? That's the only way out of this. Read it real quick.
Revelations 14 and 17 through 18. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark of the beast, or he who had the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Verse 18. Here is wisdom.
Here is wisdom.
Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast.
Here's the number of the beast.
For it is the number of a man.
It's a number of a man. Satan, brothers and sisters, is a man. Okay? He was relegated to this realm. And he's who they call the architect of the Babylonian constructs and cities we admire today. It's Satan. He gave them all these ideas. Him and the gods gave the politicians and the masons the idea to build the constructs you see. They're ancient buildings. They're ancient, what you would call religious constructs to the gods, all these cities. Okay? They did this in ancient Babylon, and they did it before the flood. The only thing they didn't have back in those days, they didn't have a real-time connection in which people every day would be connected to the gods real time. That they would actually be connected to the gods, to the fallen angels, like we are connected to the Most High. They didn't have that back then. The technology is now. The technology is now. The mark of a man. And what is his number?
And his number is 666.
666. The mark of a man. What man is that? Satan. That's the six-pointed inverted star, which is Satan, worshipped as Baal during the ancient times, during the Bible ancient times. Baal, that's the mark of Satan. Who is Satan? Like I've mentioned, he has many names. Okay? The Most High don't have many names. Satan have many names. And like we showed you here in this book, Ancient Canaan, Israel, in ancient times. You want to hide the truth? What they do, they put it in books. They know that the Tetragrammaton predates our people in Egypt and coming out of Egypt and going into Israel. They know this. They know that Yah and Yahweh were ancient Hamitic gods to be worshipped. Satan himself. And when Edom went to Mount Seir and made an agreement with Yahweh, he promised that once he gained power, the whole earth would bow to Baal or Yahweh. The Jewish people know. They know the Most High name. And you know what? I'm going to go more into this and the other books we have in the academy tomorrow. Time won't allow it. Won't allow it right now. Time won't allow it, but I'm going to go right into this during the academy tomorrow. What's the lesson tomorrow? Come on, give it to me.
The breakdown of modern Christianity.
The breakdown of modern Christianity. And you know what? There's something in that. We're going to bring out something concerning the birth of Christ that was never brought out before. Some new information has come to light on that that we're going to bring out tomorrow that totally gives the true understanding and back everything we were teaching concerning Christ's birth. We're going to go into that tomorrow. Now, one other thing before I answer a few questions here. Okay. I know the last couple of days there was a brother, his name is Sionetta, right? He's with what they call the conscience movement or whatever the case is. I guess he was one of the brothers who came on our radio show one time with, I think, a brother named Shaka Amos, and what's the other brother? Polite. Mm-hmm. And they have this continual, I would say, battle of quote unquote against what they would call Hebrew Israelites, right? But anyway, in a nutshell, I seen the brother on a video where he was filming the Church of God in Jesus Christ. I think Tazadakia and or who they call the Comforter or something. And that the FBI or whatever the case is, or the government came through and was taking some information out of their particular building. Now, really, and because I've gotten so much, a lot of people have been sending emails or talking about this, I just wanted to say that there's no way anyone can come to any conclusions concerning what that is.
Right.
Okay? No one knows what it is or what it's about, and it's wrong insinuating, and it's wrong bearing false witness about something that no one knows about.
Right.
Now, everyone knows that we don't agree with the doctrine that's there, but that's not an opportunity to actually denigrate or go against people when they're being attacked.
Right.
Okay? So I think it's evil or wrong when people use someone's downfall or what they perceive as a downfall as an opportunity to claim, well, they're not this or they're not that, or make a conclusion based on your biases against something. Mm-hmm. That's bearing false witness. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that anything about what I feel it is. The bottom line is this. Okay? Even when people do good and things happen to them, you'll have somebody look at it and say, well, that's why it happened, and point to them and try to say, well, they should have did things this way or that way.
Right.
That's not the point. And I'm sure when people even grabbed Christ and started going against Christ, mm-hmm. that there was many people who cheered Christ's death, saying that, well, look, that the Most High did this to him. Look, that's what he get for trying to bring something different than what Moses was teaching, and trying to and use that as an excuse to promote their biases as if they have the truth. I don't believe anyone should celebrate an imposition or destruction against their own people, regardless of what you feel.
Right.
It's wrong. Now, I'm not going to go somewhere and try to defend anything, because I don't know what it is. I haven't heard or seen or talked about or to any of these people in probably well over a decade or a decade and a half. But all in all, I know brothers out there is going to use that as an opportunity to try to attack and demean their own people, not realizing that this is what the government powers would love to see. They would love to see people like crabs in the bucket attacking their own people. I can understand how Sionetta and them doing that, because they don't even believe in the Bible. And every opportunity they get, because they are against the God of the Bible, they're going to try to paint it with a broad brush and say, this is all Hebrews, this is all Israelites and all that stuff. I can understand them doing that, being first on the scene to try to make something up and come with all types of insinuations about what he think it is. And listen, he's against the truth of who we are. But I'm not going to be one that's going to stand and say, well, this is what this person gets and this is what that person gets. Because let me tell you, what they're doing is not just going to be against that particular situation.
Exactly.
Okay? You never know. We understand the powers that be are against anyone that's teaching truth. Okay? Now, do I agree with, of course, that guy is not the comforter. Are you kidding me? That's not, I said it, man, I feel ridiculous even denying it.
Right.
It's so ridiculous. But all in all, you understand? I just deal with the doctrinal part of it. And really, when someone go that far off the deep end. You don't even have to, bring out scriptures and all that and go against it. Common sense will tell you that the comfort is the Holy Spirit, and that anyone that follow that is, it's whatever. But now I'm not going to use that as a pretext to say, well, you know what the government did was right. I don't know what's going on with that. But I know that whatever they're doing, they're going to try to do something to everyone. Okay, the only thing we can do at this time is get baptized, receive the gift of the Holy Spirit, and get that mark placed in our forehead and do what's right. Because Rome is not going to discriminate according to what sect of Israelites you're under. Rome is going to destroy our people, whether they know they're Israel or not. They're going to come, they're coming full board. Okay? So that's my only opinion on that. Okay? I don't know what happened there, and I'm not going to insinuate of what happened about what happened there. We can just do the work and finish what Christ said do, irregardless of that. Our job is not even to focus on that. We got work to do. Time is running out.
If I can add also,
Yeah,
maybe this should be a proclamation from us to the other elders and deacons and teachers of the church, not to speak ill towards that situation and try to use it as an example of what they were doing wrong or what they may have taught, and this is the Most High coming against them, so on and so forth. If anything, it should be an example of what the powers that be do and what they use when they try to come against you.
Yeah.
That should be the only example that's given, not to demean that organization in particular.
Exactly. So what we tell our brothers and sisters, elders, deacons, and all that, don't even focus on that. Don't even speak about things you don't know. Okay? It's tale-bearing. It's wrong. It's wrong, straight out. So here it is. I have prior history a few decades ago with operating with a lot of those brothers. Believe it or not, before YouTube, if y'all seen that video, if you've seen the video Israelites Before YouTube, it wasn't all these groups out here you see today. YouTube has afforded everyone and their mother with a camera to become a group. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, but all in all, back then, there was only one really group that was actually promoting some level of truth, visual, before the world. Okay. And that was before it wasn't Israelite Church of Jesus Christ, what it is now. These are all fragments, what you see today. But what I'm saying is, even those that have prior history with them, especially with our church, if we don't come against it and try to make an opinion against it, or try to point to someone as wrong and all that, we definitely don't expect those that are in our church to start pointing fingers and coming against something they know not. Now, I don't have no control of what other people would do. Okay, we don't have no control over that, but we'll see where it goes. But all in all, we're not going to make draw conclusions and condemn people and condemn our brothers regardless of their doctrine. Okay. Real quick, how many minutes is this? It's just 2 more minutes. 1 moment. Another thing is, I wanted to let everyone know that we're going to do a Passover. The location is to be determined, and that Passover will be on the East Coast, where we are really promoting all those in every location to all come together for the Passover. Okay? A lot of things is happening in the earth today. It would be good for all the elders and deacons and the whole congregation to make it to one location and pray and operate together for that time of the Passover. So that's what we're looking to really do. If the Most High, have grace on us, okay, and allow us another Passover. It's right now we don't have the location, but we want to plan it out to a point where the whole United States can participate for one of our last Passovers, if it be the Most High's will, in Babylon. And that every area come together and we help